Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, whenever you are listening to this. Welcome to Curtain Call. So what is Curtain Call? Well, of course, I'm your host, Paula Love-Clark, and it's produced by Moinul, Hossain, Mukul. Thank you, Moinul, for doing an amazing show the last few weeks. So Curtain Call is where we give our guest an opportunity to showcase their talent, showcase their achievement, or to talk about something new coming up. And we have the most amazing guest coming up this evening. But first of all, I'm going to tantalize you with a little bit of what he does. So he's the UK's #1 consultant for creating women business leaders worldwide and empowering them to speak on stage. So he's got my vote. He's an award-winning entrepreneur and industry-leading business coach. He's also a top speaker. And I want to read this quote. He says he's most proud of making a positive difference in his clients' lives and building a stronger community for all of us as entrepreneurs and business leaders. So before I introduce your guest, please like and share it wherever, because now we've got the wonderful Des O'Connor as our guest. Des, welcome to Curtain Call.
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for having me on the show. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thank you for coming on. It's been such a pleasure doing Curtain Call, and we've had the most amazing guests, and really looking forward to having you as a guest on tonight. And
so excited.
yeah, so I mean, it's wonderful. When I was reading your bio, you'd expect a female to be doing all these wonderful things for other females, but then it's not. It's Des O'Connor, not the one we see on TV, of course, but this Des O'Connor. And I have to ask you, what is it about women, or why do you want to help women get to a stronger place, or find their confidence, etc.? What is it about women that you see the need to encourage or help?
That's a very good question. And it's one of the questions that I get asked so many times, mainly from women, believe it or not, Paula. Why are you as a man doing this? It's like men are not allowed to do that in a different way. There's two reasons, main reasons that sits home with me why I decided to work with women in business. I've always worked with women, mainly over the last 12 years with my speaking career. I started off as a dating coach, helping single professional women to find the right man in their life, helping them to find love when I qualified as a coach. And I just loved the energy of working with women around in my events on a one-on-one basis. Comparing that to men, women don't come with egos, first of all. They're very authentic. No,
that surprises me.
Not
Some
too many.
women must do.
Some, but the majority are more real. I'm a more realist person, but I tend to find if a woman wants to do something and she connects with me and she wants to work with me and she wants to do it, she's more than likely going to go ahead and do that. As opposed to a man, he's most probably going to have his ego kicking in, and then the relationship then becomes quite stagnant to get him to achieve what he wants to achieve. And also within the workplace for women, as we know over the years, it's been very difficult for women to get promoted, taking part in opportunities. We all know that. We won't go into the ins and outs of that. And what I realized was that when I was holding all these events, the dating and the relationship events, and I remember one event I had in particular, it was a single women's conference about 5 years ago. And I remember looking, I didn't realize that at the time that I had about 8 speakers and all of them are women apart from me. And I remember looking across on the other side of the room, and all the women that were there had their devices, were taking selfies, sharing my brand for free. Okay. They were really sharing it and they're taking pictures, etc. And I thought, wow. And then I thought, when I used to do it before, when it was mixtures of men and women, the men are less likely to do that. If you really go to an event, men are not really there taking selfies and sharing it on the page. It's usually the women, because you women like to do those type of things, which is fine. So, and then I looked at it a lot further and I thought, well, how come there's not a lot of women speaking on stage at a lot of these seminars that I was attending? Because I used to attend a lot of seminars, and the seminars, the main speakers and the promoters were predominantly men. And I never understood why there wasn't any women speaking on a lot of women speaking on stage. You may get the odd one that speaks on there, but there wasn't a lot more. So I decided to interview quite a few of the top seminar leaders and to, why are you not giving these women a crack? Why are you not giving these women a chance? Because I love working with women. One of the main reasons I also love working with women is I'm always learning. I'm always learning how they do things, how they think, how they feel. And I don't think I will ever stop be able to learn and gravitate to what they have to bring to me as a seminar leader, as a promoter, but also to the audience. Because if a woman goes to a seminar and there's all the speakers are men, she's not going to have that connection. She's not going to have that empathy with if a woman's having struggles, if a woman has a vulnerability, or she experienced some form of pain and she came out of that at the end in a positive way. So then therefore what then happens then is the women that speak at my events connect with the women in the audience instantly. I've had women on my platform share vulnerability, breakdown on stage, and no one has judged them ever. No one. And then you're creating that environment for the women.
Yeah, I can see the value in that, definitely. Yeah,
definitely. It's all about the connection. And the second reason was that I remember when I was on stage once and somebody asked me a question and they said to me, Des, why is it that you work with women? Like the same one you asked me. And it just threw me on stage because I thought, well, what's the root of it? What's the deep-rooted reason? I'm helping these women to be successful. I haven't provided them with confidence because I find that a lot of women do lack confidence as well for various reasons as well. And by them being able to be on stage, you have no idea, Paula, how that changes a woman's life, their confidence. Because if you think about how if you lack confidence in a particular area, and as we know, speaking is, people would rather die than speak on stage. Just think about I remember the first time I spoke on stage, I was petrified, absolutely petrified. But then what then happens when you overcome that fear, you then create other opportunities for you because the other areas of your life are not as scary. And then you don't have that fear of not being able to speak on stage, not be able to ask certain questions for the role or in your personal life or other areas of your professional life. But as a young boy growing up, I was mainly brought up by my mother and my sister. My mum's not around, unfortunately, but I was mainly brought up by my mum and my sister. And they provided that environment for me to express anything I want to say. So if I was upset about something, there was an opportunity for me to say, this is how I'm feeling. If I had to cry, I cried, and they never, ever judged me. They never, ever made me feel less of a man if I'm feeling that way. And that's one of the problems that men have, unfortunately. That's why the mental health and the suicide rate for men is so high. And I guarantee a lot of those men, if they had an opportunity to communicate to somebody how they felt, a lot of those negative things wouldn't happen. So I was able to express myself and how I feel about anything I want, whether it's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's Liverpool losing, or whatever it is, about anything like that. So I was able to express that. So,
and were you allowed to cry at home? Sorry to interrupt. Were you allowed to cry at home? Because a lot of, I've got, so it's myself and my daughter at home and my 9-year-old son. And it's very feminine in our house, you can imagine. And, he's so in touch with, he walks around naked just like we all do, with this, and he laughs, he cries, he has no issue about crying. We actually encourage to get the emotion out and then to deal with it. We talk about that. But a lot of parents are a bit worried about allowing their sons to cry and to express their emotion because they're a bit worried about them getting bullied as they grow up for doing that. Now, what's your take on that? Because we've both had similar situations. What's your, I'm the parent, you were the child. So what's your take on how some parents kind of feel nervous about allowing their boys to cry or express their emotions?
That's a really good question, and I touched on that at one of the same seminar. I got asked that question, Paula, and I said to all the mums in the room, it's so important that you allow your son to express himself in all the areas that he can. And if he needs to cry, then allow him to cry, because what he's doing is that with me, I'm expressing myself. So when I was getting emotional, I was crying, I had to let it out. Yeah. And if I don't let it out, it's going to go somewhere else, whether it's going to affect my health, or, you know, this is why a lot of people, men, they look on an outlet like drugs, sex, alcohol, violence, and all those negative things that are not serving them. So when you're used to being able to express how you feel, you're developing yourself very positively as well, and it's a good thing. Now, the problem with that, unfortunately, is that I've broken down in front of a group of men before, and I had grief for it, which obviously, and the ones that would give me grief about that are not obviously suppressors. So then they're obviously thinking, oh, what's wrong with you? Man up. And you don't need to be, if you don't express, if you don't cry, if you cry, it doesn't mean you're less of a man. No. And the people, it's usually the men. Women are usually okay about that, but it's usually when the men are the ones that put down another man, and it's usually the ones that do that have the most issues, or the most things they want to express.
Fear because they're though. It's fear.
Of course it is.
Just like you said about getting on stage. So, what do you think? For example, I'll tell you. Last January, I did a beauty pageant, right? That was a very big thing for me. I've been asked quite a few times, and I was the oldest competitor and I won a title, but I had to go up on stage on my lingerie, right? And that was really scary for me because I've had 3 kids, and, you know, I'm not a 20-year-old anymore. So, you know, that was a big confidence thing for me. And my friend who's a life coach who really helped me, he said, you changed from that moment. You got confident from that moment. Now, taking that back to the stage about what we've spoken about, what kind of confidence, what kind of fear gets broken down when a woman, because you're predominantly working with women, it can affect, it can be the same for men as well. But when they're on stage and they're having to speak, and there are like, I don't know, 100 set of eyes staring at them, waiting for them, and you know the audience members are generally like, they're expressionless usually, or they look quite miserable because they're in a relaxed situation. So how do you encourage someone to get over that fear and to build their confidence when they've got the mic in their hand?
That's a good question. The first thing I do is I'm making sure that I'm prior to them going on stage. So if someone's going on stage at, say, 2 o'clock from in the morning, I'm always checking in with them, are you okay? You're okay. It's going to be fantastic. And I very rarely put a novice speaker first, or it'd be crazy if I did that. I usually let them see others, usually someone else that's spoken for the first or second time, and then they feel that they can achieve that as well. Also, what I would say is that if they're going to be actually petrified, and I think one of the main things that concerns them is how they're going to be perceived, how they're going to look, and I will say to them, do not worry about it. The audience is going to love you, because like I've said before, when I was talking to you about when I was as a young child, I then decided to recreate my upbringing into this environment. So then I've got a room packed with a couple of 100 women that are all open and maybe vulnerable, even though it's a business event. But then I've recreated that platform, that environment as a young boy growing up, where I was able and allowed to express myself without anybody judging me. Now, when that happens and you create that ambience in the audience and you create that in the room, women love that. And because I loved that growing up as a young boy and as a young man as well, it connects with the audience. It connects with the women. And I'm talking every woman I explain it, I'm talking to you and you're nodding your head because you totally get what I'm talking about. And the average man doesn't experience that. And the average man, and it only dawned on me, when I got asked live on stage, and I said, you know something, ladies, let me just be honest. And then I just explained, as a young boy, I was able to express myself. I was told that I was beautiful. I was told I was lovely. I had hair back then. And that was confident. Yeah, believe it or not. but I was continually told, I was always dressed up nice. I was showered with lots of love. So then I've recreated that in the environment, and then it makes sense with the shoes, with women that want to dress and look nice, and that inspires and installs confidence as well. So when these women that come on stage and they witness that, and the audience always announce to the audience, if it was you, Paula, I say to everybody, we have Paula coming on stage, everybody, and it's her first time on stage. Yeah, and then they raise the roof. We raise the roof, and then you select a track, your favorite song that inspires you. We raise the room. Everyone's cheering you, giving you lots of love. I'm giving her lots of hug before she goes on stage. And when she goes on that stage, she's now knows that if she mucks up, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
And everybody mucks up. So all those things that I've already installed into her, and she's already witnessed that, but from the other speakers, because I actually have sometimes 20 speakers in a day, then they can realize, this isn't as bad as it is. And when they get on there, every single woman that's come off stage at my event for the first time, you saw my videos, there's hundreds of testimonials, but they come off the stage and they feel like $1 million. They want to do another speaking. Some of them come back and back. Some of them has had other speaking engagements. Some of them have spoken abroad, and it's just boosted their confidence. And they've just gone from being low in their mindset and how they're feeling to up that they can take on the world. Some of them I can't get rid of to start. So I can't fit you in because I've got to give other people the speaking opportunities.
So I got two questions on that. Two questions on that. The first one is, how does somebody get to become a speaker at a Women in Business event? Because you run the Women in Business events. How do they, so say we got one of our listeners thinking, I really could do with that. I really need that confidence boost. I've always wanted to speak out. I've got a story to tell. How do they, I know we'll do the, how they contact you at the end, but how do they come onto a Women in Business event with the aim of trying out being a speaker?
There's a couple of options that they can go through. One of them is they can share their story. Some people just don't want to sell their business. Some just want to just share their story. Some of us just have something inside of us that they just want to share to the world. They just want to get it out there to the world. And that's an opportunity for them as well, just to share their story. Whether it's, I've had women that have been abused, been adopted, although anything you can think of, and no one judges them. It's okay. And then you get the other woman that just wants to share their business, and it's their first time on stage, and they want to generate lots of leads, they want to generate lots of clients, and they want to get their message out there. And I show them how they do that is that they can also generate leads from the people in the room. So if you were selling a program on my platform, you most obviously want to know, how do you go about that? How do I go about doing that? How do I go about sharing my message across? So then what happens then is I show them how to address the audience, and at the end of the presentation, what's the next step? And it's usually a form that we give out, which is usually a free consultation. Then they've got 20-30 clients that they didn't have before, and then all of us, then they can take them through the process sort of that way as well. So like I said, all they need to do is go to my website, and then they can schedule, select which package they require, and then they can schedule a conversation with me as well. I've even had a young girl, as was she 9 that spoke on my stage last year as well. Wow, so
that's amazing. Yeah. And the other thing is, when these ladies come on stage, and you've explained how they come away and they're shaking, but they feel exhilarated, confident, etc. Do they then take that into the rest of their lives? And have you heard stories where it's changed their lives?
Afterwards? Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things that I really love to hear about. They take it in. Some of them have it's helped them to be more confident in their relationship. Some of them has helped them end their relationship because they just realized, I found my true self. I've been suppressed a lot of my life. Some of them have had promotion. Some of them has also, like I said before, had further speaking opportunities globally as well. And it just goes from strength to strength to strength there. If you imagine that you've just spoken on stage for the first time, and you've shared the stage with, last year I had Rachel Elnor, the first female to appear on Dragon's Den. some people that day, some women that day, spoke for the first time and shared the stage with her. To share the stage with a celebrity. Can you imagine how they feel? And they get their footage. They're able to take pictures with Rachel, the 9-year-old girl that spoke at my event. She got interviewed. She was able to interview her, and she gave her a testimonial. She'll remember that. She'll remember that definitely for life, you know. And when they share that with you, you can't, Paula, you can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on that.
And so you've been an international speaker yourself, and of course you're a business coach, you're a mentor. What is it about coaching? Have you always coached? Did you start off as a coach? Did you go into, how did you get into coaching, and what is it that you love more than anything about coaching?
Lovely. Another good question there as well. I qualified as a life coach in 2008, I think, and I didn't know anything about coaching. I came out of a very painful divorce. I was going through a massive divorce. Prior to being a coach, I was a driving instructor. Had Des O'Connor's driving school in London, and that was going very well. I got married, had a painful divorce, lost everything, and my daughter's godfather advised me to get into coaching. And at the time I was blaming my wife. You made me do this. You made, we've all been there where we're blaming the other person.
Yes.
I wasn't aware of anything to do about coaching. And he started sending me personal development. It was tapes and some CDs then. And they were all saying the same thing in a different way. And it's all about taking responsibility and stop making the other person wrong. So if you could imagine, you haven't heard about coaching before in your life, and then somebody is telling you that you got to take responsibility and don't blame the other person. The other person didn't make you do what you do. You chose. And they kept saying it. You kept saying it. And this message kept coming along. I was reading the books, and it was round about the time, Paula, when The Secret came out. Everybody knew about The Secret in 2006.
Rhonda Byrne.
Yeah, Rhonda Byrne. And I thought, wow. And then I started studying life coaching, and I found it absolutely amazing. And I originally studied coaching to get into helping driving instructors to be successful in their business. And I accidentally fell into the dating arena, which is meant to happen. And then I started working with single women, finding them love, because a lot of women, unfortunately, in relationships, talk to women.
Yeah, go on, carry on. Single woman alert. Yeah, I'd love some tips. Love some tips, but anyway, just speaking for the millions of single women out there.
Yeah. We can have a dating and relationship single women's another interview. But basically, what happens is a lot of single women that are going through challenges, and the ones that are in relationships, usually talk to women about that. And unfortunately, women don't understand men. Men understand men, just like men don't really understand women. So what was happening was women were coming to my events to understand men, because I used to bring men on stage for the women to ask them as many questions as they want about relationships. So back to your original question, what I loved about coaching was that one of the things that I realized that stood out for me was that I have a choice. I have a choice when I wake up in the morning, how I want to be. I can program my mind if I want to be positive and have a good day, or I can choose to have a bad day. Don't get me wrong. Do I get upset and react sometimes in a negative way? Of course, we all do that. But one of the things that stood out for me for coaching was that we all have a choice. And I wasn't aware that I had a choice. And I don't think the average person are not aware of that. Just like when I used to work with the women to find love, I used to coach them and say, all those men that were bad in your life prior to today, who chose them? And it was them that chose them. So then we was looking at how can we prevent you from making those wrong choices again in the future. And that's what I found about coaching. And it makes you feel good. You go to a seminar, everyone's jumping up and down, everyone's positive, hugging. Well, we won't do too much hugging now because of COVID, but not at the moment.
You've got a couple of comments here. You've got Hayat Tikabo.
Oh, one of my clients.
Yeah, she said you're very, very good at helping women. Yeah, she says you're very good at helping women get into their dream, into fusion. And also Philip Chan.
Thank you, Hyatt. She's going to be amazing.
Philip Chan says your speech at the CTC regarding losing your mum was one of the most emotional and touching stories that he's heard, and it affected everyone.
Philip.
So you said you're magic.
Philip. I appreciate it. Thank you, Philip. He comes to all of my. He's been coming to all of my events. Bless him.
He's an amazing mentor. He's brilliant.
I actually put him on stage at one of my events. He wanted to speak about something to do what he was involved with. I think it's to do with his books, and I let him put him on stage. So thank you, Philip. He's been one of my very supporting followers. I love Philip. He's a lovely guy.
Tell us about your shoes, Des. Come on. Everyone wants to know about these high heels. Des's high heels. Tell us about your shoes.
These shoes are going to be very different. The shoe launch is going to be next year, March. It was meant to be December, but I moved it to March 27th, 28th. I wanted to create something that was very different and unique. I didn't want to just create another pair of shoes that everyone else is going to be getting. Why get Des O'Connor shoes when you can go and get it from somewhere else? And based on the personal development that I've been into over the last 12 years, I realized there's a lot of people, a lot of women that are not aware of personal development, are not aware of products and services that can be used to improve their life. And we all have this now. We all have this. This is our computer now, and everybody carries it around with them. So there's two things I wanted to do. One, I wanted to create a shoe that improves women's lives personally and professionally. How does that work?
I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Well, let's say for argument's sake, you ordered a pair of my shoes and you love them. And when you was making the order,
size 6, by the way, size 6. Can I just say size 6?
Okay, my dear. Okay, size 6. And you filled in a questionnaire, a couple of questions, and one of the main questions is, would you be interested in improving your life personally or professionally? And then if you said personally, that will take you to another few questions where we really want to understand who the buyer is a lot more. So personally could be personal development. It could be relationships. It could be your health. Okay. It could be understanding, emotions and feelings and being more confident. As soon as you do that, we will automatically send you some free videos and some free podcasts, free articles on how you can improve that section of area of your life. And that will be from an expert who's qualified and an expert in that area that can help you do that. So what happens then is you're going to be receiving free content delivered to your device that you can watch on your phone on how you can improve your life. Say if you go into a seminar, somebody could buy my shoes from New Zealand, but they can't come to my event. But they want to improve their life personally. They want to develop themselves. They may want to improve their health. Hyatt, the client that just came on, she's a health expert. She can help you improve your health in all areas of your life. Somebody, especially what's going on now with COVID, everybody's very vulnerable and everyone's very particular about their health. So it's a good time for someone to improve their health. But let's say somebody wanted to improve their business side and they wanted to get into public speaking. They wanted to know about website design. They wanted to know about social media. They wanted to know about branding. They may be employed and they want to make that transition, Paula, from being employed to an entrepreneur, because a lot of people are looking into that. We would provide them with online training programs free of charge on how they can achieve that. So can you imagine 5 steps on how to be a confident public speaker, and you can have access to that for life, and you're watching that and you're watching that. And these courses are going to be worth thousands of pounds. They're going to be worth so much more than the shoes themselves.
I was going to say, the shoes must be worth that. They must be costing thousands of pounds to get all this for free. Come on, £10,000 shoe.
The shoes will only be £1 million. They'll only be, shoes. No, the shoes won't be nowhere near that. Believe me, they won't be near that. It's all about, if somebody wants to buy the shoes just to get the content, that's great for them. But why not get a pair of shoes that you like and get the content at the same time?
But they're also, there's something, go on. No, you were going to say, go on. I know what you're going to say. It was the question I was going to ask, but tell me, go on.
And the second thing that makes my shoe stand out is the shoe. It's a lot of women wear shoes, as we know. And just picture you got your best pair of shoes, Paula, and let's say they're black, because every woman has black shoes. Okay,
Yeah.
I know a lot of women with shoes. Okay, and let's say you love those shoes, you really love those shoes, and you're going out. Say you're going out on a date, or you're going out to a wedding, and I know you've got your outfit, and it's not going to be black. Say, for example, your outfit is pink or yellow. Okay, it's summer and you want to wear something flowery and lovely. Okay,
Yeah.
just imagine if you could pop off the heel on that shoe and replace it with a heel identical to the color of your dress.
Oh, okay.
So basically the shoe heel will be match what you're wearing. So technically you could have a box of one pair of shoe, and it could have 5 different heels that you've selected to match the color of what you're going to be wearing.
Did you select them? Okay, got it. And
yeah,
I mean, that sounds amazing. Tell us about the competition, because we've only got a few minutes left. Tell us about this shoe modeling competition that you've got. It's people can vote. It's vote.desaconesmodels.com. Please like and share, everyone, what you can. So just keep saying that. But there you go. Vote now for your favorite model. And I know a couple of my friends are also in the competition. So
as you can see, there's about
Lucky. Hello, Lucky. There, she's my mate.
Great.
I've got 3 friends in there. Kinga.
There's about 150 models that have already applied.
Yeah, I've probably got about 5 friends in there.
What I needed to do was I needed a model. This is the first time I'm tapping into the modeling industry, and I needed a model to be the face, the foot, the brand of my shoe. Because what happens, I needed someone that can, when these shoes come out, I'm going to need a model to be wearing my shoes, to be promoting my shoes.
So you're not going to wear them now?
I was about to say, as much as I may have nice legs, I don't think it's going to go down too well me wearing my shoes. So I need one of these models to apply to do that. And what was really interested in, because I'm moving into a different industry like the shoes and then the modeling industry, is that a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but I get the odd question this stating it's a scam. And I thought, why would you say it's a scam? And I think because it's so good to be, it's too good to be true. I'm providing this opportunity. It's free to apply. All they need to do is to collect votes. They're going to come on stage and walk on the catwalk. There's an opportunity to get their photos and their videos of them on stage for the first time, because not all those women are models. Some of them are aspiring models, never walked on stage before. So can you imagine that yet again, the confidence is going to give them by walking on that stage. So every year I'm going to be holding this to select the woman for my shoe brand, because what then happens then is, what do they win? Well, my whole package is that I provide for women in business, helping them to be successful in their business, their website, their branding, getting them more leads, etc. They're going to be traveling with me when I'm going to be speaking at women in business events. This woman is going to be walking on stage, promoting my shoes, and then she'll get all the footage. I can create that into her brand. She would definitely get further modeling opportunities as well. So, is it a scam? No, of course it's not. This is an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity for that woman, and I will be doing this every year because I need that person to. So how are we going to select? I know we got to go. I'm going to have there's going to be a panel of judges on the day. I'm one of the judges, and it's going to be maybe another 4 or 5 at the moment as well that's going to be on stage, and then we're going to select the winner on the night. So I think there's going to be around about 100 on the night, and then what will happen, there will be a heat, and then most probably out of the 100 we'll split it to 30 to the semi-final, and then the last 10, and then it'll be the finalists there as well. They bring their own shoes, but we're going to be in communication with them a lot more, and all they need to do is get as many votes as possible. The top 100 women with the most votes qualify for the audition. They don't win it. No. They qualify they qualify for the edition, which means they'll be invited to come along to the hotel Holiday Inn Kensington, October the 24th and 25th, to be one of those models there as well.
Excellent. It sounds fantastic. And what are you getting out of this? So, I mean, obviously, are you a shoe philanthropist? So what are you getting out of this? You know, because what drives you? What's driving you to do this for women?
One of the main things that stand out for me when I was doing this is the confidence. Because remember, if you go back to what I originally said, what do they get when they get the shoe? I'm going to be personally and professionally developing their life for them on the comfort of their device from their home. So they're going to be working on themselves. They're going to be understanding, learning. I remember when I didn't know about personal development, Paula, and I was in a very, very bad place, very, very, very bad place. And it's only with a combination of personal development and therapy enabled me to be who I am today. So even though that was a negative experience, I want to show people whatever you're going through, you know, there's a reason for that. And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And it just makes, sometimes somebody just wants somebody to speak to. And if they can't speak to somebody directly, at least they can hear what someone is saying. And we've all been there. We've listened to an inspirational a podcast or a video, and you might be feeling down, and that video lifts you. So imagine if you're continually getting that and getting that and getting that. And I'm going to be getting different experts all over the world to provide the information for those women out there as well. It's a new opportunity for me. It's a new brand. And also, before I forget, there will be the opportunity also for hairdressers, beauticians, yoga instructors, and women that are working from home to be able to promote my shoes globally. And every shoe that they sell, we will pay them a considerable amount for that as well. And all they're going to have to do is just promote a link where we can track the link back to that person. So if someone shared the link to you and you shared it on your Instagram and that got shared 10 times, the person that originally set up that link will be paid every single time for that as well. Excellent.
And don't you find, I'm going to get something here, don't you find that somebody who is, and now forgive the pun, I can't help it, it's just who I am, somebody who's walked the shoes, right, knows exactly the path. So I just want to show you this. This is why I wrote the book. I wrote this book. There you go.
Fantastic.
Because as a single parent, and as somebody who has had an awful lot of trauma happen to her throughout her entire life, I am also here to say, look, I learned some tips and tricks and lessons and mindset change so that I can now go on and live my life. So just like you said, okay, I've been through this. I know how it feels to be divorced, etc. I know what pain feels like. I know how it feels to be in a dark place. I also want to help you with your confidence. I want to help to inspire you get to a better place.
Fantastic. Get that book. Get that book.
Get that book. Get that book.
Get that book.
Where is it? There it is. And get that one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hit #1 Amazon bestseller yesterday.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yesterday. Anyway, so that's enough about me. So to get a hold of you, it's www.desoconnor.com.
S on the end,
desoconnors.com. Vote for your favorite model. You can go on to vote.desocconnorsmodels.com. Follow you on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, Des O'Connors or Des O'Connor.
And if you want to, Des O'Connors or Des O'Connor, it comes up. But if you want to apply to be the model, you can go to desocconnorsmodels.com or just go to desoconnors.com and click on models on the tab. It's all on there. So
excellent. Thank you so much. We've run out of time. We've actually gone over, which is amazing. You have been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on.
It went so quick. I loved it. It's been absolutely fantastic, Paula, and it was just relaxing.
Thank you.
And we could have done this for another hour.
We could have done. I had so many puns, footage. I was going on. They were coming at me. I walking the steps. I've been there forever. I could have just carried on with that one.
The question is for you: is when you're going to speak on my stage? That's the question.
Whenever you invite me, I'll be there.
All right. I'll keep you to that. All right. Bring your book, because I'm sure a lot of women will be interested in your book. And that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. You come on my stage, speak on my stage. I work with you. A couple of things that we can do to get more people interested in you, and then all of a sudden, you know, you say to everybody, "I've got 10 copies of my book. Who wants it?" Bang! You get 100 women coming onto your table to take your book, and that's
excellent. Make sure I bring 100 books.
Bring one, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Signed copy. Thank you, Paula. It's been our pleasure. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for coming along on this interview. It's been amazing, and stay safe. That's all I can say to everybody. Just stay safe and just, you know, keep living the life that you want to live. You have the choice to know how you want to be.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, for coming on to Curtain Call. It's been an amazing evening with our guest, Des O'Connor. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next week.